Hello students, welcome to our class 8th geography lesson. Today, we're exploring chapter 3, humidity and clouds. Can you tell? Look at the pictures shown in figure 3.1. Discuss the weather conditions shown in these pictures in the class. Explanation: generally, we keep talking about the weather conditions. We can identify the weather conditions through the conversations above. We experience the dampness or dryness in the air throughout the year. The changes occurring in the weather conditions in desert areas, coastal areas and mountainous areas is evident from the figures. Rajasthan lies in a region with dry and hot air. There is hardly any moisture in the air. People wear loose cotton clothes. Kashmir Valley lies in a region with cold and dry air. Moisture is minimal in the air. People cover themselves with warm clothes. In Mumbai, the air is hot and humid. There the proportion of moisture is very high in the air. In addition, if dark clouds cover the sky, the content of moisture in the air increases. In the above discussion, the words hot, moist, cool etc. show the condition of the air. They relate to the content of the moisture in the air. Moisture in the air is invisible, but it is the major component of air which is taken into consideration while discussing the weather of any place. For precipitation to occur in any place, presence of moisture in the air is very important. Think about it. During winters, when you exhale on the glass of your mirror, what happens? If you try to do this in summer, why doesn't this happen? Evaporation. Evaporation is the process of converting water into steam or water vapor. Because of the sun's heat, the water on the earth gets converted into water vapor. The process of evaporation is dependent on the dryness, temperature, and the speed of the wind. If the air is dry and hot, the rate of evaporation increases. The process of evaporation continues even in dry and cold air. On the other hand, evaporation occurs very slowly in moist air. If the velocity and temperature of the air is high, then evaporation occurs rapidly. If the wind is blowing slowly and the air is cooler, then evaporation occurs slowly. Use your brain power. In which season do the clothes dry fast? In which season do the clothes take time to dry? What could be the reason? Humidity in the air. The proportion of water vapor in the air is called its humidity. The dryness or dampness of the air depends on the proportion of water vapor. Air can hold moisture in specific quantity at specific temperature only. As air cools down, its moisture holding capacity reduces. This implies that warmer air can hold more moisture than cold air. At a certain temperature, the moisture holding capacity of air becomes equal to the proportion of moisture present in it. This condition of the air is called saturation of the air. Try this. Carry out the following activity in a group. Take a colander tray which is deeper in the center. Take a piece of sponge. On the flat part of the tray, make holes with the help of nails. Keep the sponge on the center of the tray colander. Make sure there is no water in the sponge. Pour water on the sponge with a big spoon. The students in the group should note how many spoons of water have been poured. Keep pouring water with the spoon till the sponge becomes wet with water. Note what happens if you keep pouring water even after that. Now answer the following questions. What happened to the water which was poured initially? When you were pouring water on the sponge, what did you expect? What happened when you poured more water on the sponge? What conclusions can you draw from this? Explanation. Let's suppose that the air is like the piece of sponge. How many spoons of water does the sponge absorb? After the sponge is full of water, drops of water start trickling out. One can tell the number of spoons of water required to make the water trickle down the sponge by observation. This implies that the water holding capacity of the sponge is fulfilled. This makes it saturated. Similarly, when the proportion of moisture in the air exceeds its vapor holding capacity, precipitation in the form of rain or snow occurs on the earth. The moisture holding capacity of the air depends on its temperature. Higher the temperature, higher is the holding capacity. We have learned earlier that as we go higher in the sky, the air becomes cooler. So, as per this rule, as we go higher, the vapor holding capacity of the air will decrease. The following table will make it clear. At 15 degrees C, the capacity of 1 cu.m air is to hold 12.8 grams of moisture. If this amount of vapor is present in the air is said to be saturated. This humidity in the air is expressed in different ways. Always remember, generally, humidity of the air is measured in grams per cubic meter. When the humidity in the air is 0 gm/cu.m, the air is said to be dry. If the humidity in the air at 30 degrees C temperature is 37 gms/cu.m, then the air is said to be saturated. Absolute humidity, the amount of water vapor in 1 cu.m of air is the absolute humidity of the air. For example, the absolute humidity of the air near coastal areas is higher than air in the interior. Absolute humidity is higher in the equatorial areas while it reduces as we move towards the poles. The distribution of land and water on Earth and the seasons also affect absolute humidity. Relative humidity. The amount of water vapor present in air can be expressed as a percentage of the amount needed for saturation at the same temperature and same volume. It is expressed in percentage. That is, relative humidity is equal to absolute humidity divided by vapor holding capacity into 100. What will be the relative humidity of air whose absolute humidity is 20 grams per cubic meter and vapor holding capacity is 30 grams per cubic meter? If the absolute humidity of the air is 15 grams per cubic meter, and the vapor holding capacity is 15 grams per cubic meter, then what is the relative humidity of the air? On the basis of the examples given above, tell which air is saturated. The amount of water vapor changes according to difference in temperature. Similarly, relative humidity also changes. Generally, relative humidity is more in the mornings and nights. In the afternoon, as temperature increases, relative humidity decreases. Near coastal areas, the relative humidity is more and so the air is moist. In desert areas, relative humidity is less. Use your brain power. In which season is humidity generally more? How does humidity affect the human body? Observe how humidity affects the food materials at our home. Is there a relation between the formation of fungus and humidity? How is the early or late drying up of clothes related to humidity? Try this. The teacher should make two groups of the students in the class. The first group should do the following activity under the supervision of the teachers carefully. See Fig. 3.5. Take water in a pressure cooker. Take off the whistle of the pressure cooker. Now heat the cooker. Take a lid with a handle. After the water starts boiling, hold the lid at a distance from where the steam is coming out. Observe what happens. You must have observed that water changed into water vapor after it was heated. This vapor turns into water droplets when it touches the cooler lid. We can see the water droplets deposited on the lid. The other group should carry out the following activity. See Fig. 3.6a. Take a glass with flat bottom. Put some ice cubes in it. Keep this glass in a room for 2 to 3 minutes. What did you see? The outer surface of the glass. See Fig. 3.6b. When the water vapor in the air comes in contact with the cold surface, condensation takes place. These droplets form on the outer surface of the glass. In the first activity, the steam from the cooker cooled and condensed into water droplets. In the second activity, the vapor in the air condensed into water droplets.